Keep It 100 is brought to you by the coronavirus, coming to a chest near you. La, 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 la. This is a quote from my haters. Yeah. You got me feeling like the greatest. Yeah. Bitch, I'm about to blow up. What's going on, world? Or nobody. Bitch, I'm about to blow up. Or most likely somewhere in between. My name is Casey Huckle, and I'm delivering to you Keep It 100. What is Keep It 100 about? Quotes. Yep, quotes. Meaning adages, truisms, figures of speech, expressions, sayings, lines, you name it. Yes, a group of words put together that are usually pithy, memorable, have meaning, sentiment. I would like to tell you that there has been a change to the show. Instead of trying to hustle 100 episodes and 100 quotes, one per episode, into a year, I've decided to extend it. I've made it about 50 quotes in a year. I didn't quite reach my deadline. Had some roadblocks in my life, but I'm going to keep on trucking and make it to 100, hopefully. I don't know. Just a healthier pace for me. I don't think of a couple quotes a week. I don't want to force anything. So I've extended the show to another year, approximately. So I hope you enjoy. Make sure you rate, review my show on iTunes if you can. Tell your friends, your grandmother, whoever. And without further ado, let's get started.
But it takes more than two to tango, or something like that. But it takes more than two to tango,
or something like that. Thank you, Billy. That would be Billy Madison. In Billy Madison. Yeah. Shout out to the 90s. The real quote is actually, well, yeah, he was right. It was something like that. But he wasn't. He was close. It takes two to tango is the quote for today. And like most of my recent episodes, this will be short too, as this is relevant to my past relationship with my ex, and I'll get into the personal stuff. I always tend to get into the personal first, probably because it's more emotional, and before I explain, like the history, especially with a history of muscular dystrophy. This is a quote I've been thinking about for the last few months. I've been thinking about it on and off since the emotion slowly, very, 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 very slowly dissipated from Diana, from the relationship I had with my ex in 2018, and you know what? Maybe I'll explain. You know what? I'll switch the two. I'll explain the history of it, and then I'll segue into what it means to me. So, "It Takes Two to Tango" is from a song, and it's an idiomatic. It's an expression. And I'm reading from Wikipedia now. "It takes two to tango" is a common idiomatic expression which suggests something in which more than one person or other entity are paired in an inextricably related and active manner, occasionally with negative connotations. And that's how this is. The tango is a dance which requires two partners moving in relation to each other, sometimes in tandem, sometimes in opposition. The meaning of this expression has been extended to include any situation in which the two partners are by definition understood to be essential, as in a marriage with only one partner ceases to be a marriage. And that is literally what it meant to me. Well, before I get into the personal, I'll just add this. The phrase originated in a song Takes Two to Tango, which was written and composed in 1952 by Dick Manning and Al Hoffman. And the melody and lyrics were popularized by singer Pearl Bailey. Pearl Bailey did a 1952 recording, so it's from 1952, so it's not as old as some of the recent quotes I've covered. So to me, it goes back to what Diana was telling me about her relationship with her husband at the time, and I didn't learn about how much, like, getting into a relationship, being in a relationship with someone who in a failed marriage is just, as I can tell you from personal experience, an absolute disaster. They always end badly. I mean, how can it ever go well when there's a love triangle going on? It always ends poorly. Trust me. And Diana confided in me about her relationship with her husband at the time. His name is Gabe. And the issue, I didn't know it was an issue, but I was learning. I fucked up. But she would bash him so much that it made me think that she was good in the marriage and he was the bad one. And it put her on a pedestal in my mind, like she was the right one, like she was good, and he was fucking up, and he was the reason, that the responsible party for the breakup of the marriage, the divorce, and so enter. Basically, I started thinking about it in 2019, and it was like I actually called Gabe in 2018. And I actually called him to apologize. I felt so guilty. And I had to get some things off my chest to him, particularly the apology for the relationship. And he told me a little bit of his side. I still heard like 90% of their relationship was skewed. It was distorted, biased, and 90% of it came from her. And so she was bashing him, and I started to realize that it takes two to tango. To me now means, what I've learned is that she was a equally responsible party. I mean, she when I was texting Gabe after I'd called him, we started texting a little bit the next day, and he told me that she's in a relationship with another man after me, like immediately. She moved on very quickly because she can't be alone. She always has to identify with someone else. She can't identify enough with herself. So, and then one of the texts that I remember the most from that exchange was, "She'll always be like that." And at the time, in 2018, this is 2 years ago, at the time, I didn't believe him. I saw her as she was a god in my eyes. And then then in 2019 and now 20, the emotion, my attachment from her is all but pretty much gone. I realized that rationally, she had issues too. It took not only him, but it also took her to tango in what would be the dissolution of the marriage. So this is about balance and knowing that I think this can be applied to any particular any relationship. So kind of I don't know. I think the best way to learn is through mistakes, and so you need to just I don't. A year ago, when I was suffering, I probably would have told you I regret. I mean, some days I feel like I regret that relationship with her, and then some days I'm like, I learned a few things. I learned A, B, and C from it. Maybe like it had to happen. I had to go through that to get to the more powerful Casey, to become the more powerful Casey that I am now. But But yes, I mean, sometimes I regret it, and sometimes I wouldn't say I'm proud of it, but definitely never proud of it. But like, feel like it was essential. So it takes two to tango, and that's all I got. This is the 51st episode from Keep It 100. We are now engaging in this. We're in the second half of my show, and I appreciate everyone for sticking with me. I love you, and see you next time. Peace.